Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Tina Avery. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So we have a special guest here that's going to talk about menopause and beyond. And gentlemen, before you switch that dial, I'm going to say to you, it will behoove you to stay and listen and learn about your mothers, your sisters, your aunts, your not your uncles. But joining me today, I have Kelly Nolan. She is an author, pharmacist, and health advisor. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so grateful to be here. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. So we've got some exciting news, but before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about menopause in general. Yeah. I have not yet begun menopause. Secret information just shared with you, but you know, it's not far, I don't think. So let's talk
I won't
about
ask your age.
Oh, I have no secrets. I have no secrets. But no, so let's talk a little bit about menopause. And I mean, there's women out there going, oh, please don't talk about it. I'm in the middle of it. But let's talk about some of the things that a woman's body goes through, like some of the symptoms and some of the ways it affects a woman in her general life.
Well, I always say everybody's story is going to be a little bit different, but of course there's some generalities. Most women will struggle with hot flashes, night sweats, perhaps joint pain, insomnia, low libido, and definitely an issue with weight, and that becomes a real big one for them.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I mean, I know everyone is different, but is there a range of ages where this normally starts, and how long does it last? And
again, that varies depending on the person and their medical history. If they've had a hysterectomy, of course, they're going to be, catapulted into menopause earlier than they maybe want to, but I think most women will come to me between 48 and 60-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in that range, in case you were wondering. No, not at all. I'm 52 years old, so there we go. It's out there now. There's no hiding from it. But let's talk about Restore Your Life. So you're a new author.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what is Restore Your Life all about?
So Restore Your Life was a book that started with the purpose of unleashing my expertise, but most importantly to reach a much broader audience of women who I knew were desperately seeking answers. And I really felt it was my obligation to share my knowledge with them. And Restore Your Life for me means to take control back.
Okay.
Really take control back and know that there are answers for you, but they need to be individualized to you. It's not a cookie cutter, right? We're all different.
So the book deals with dealing with menopause and getting through it, or?
Well, it started with me going back to, which we all can do, blogs, articles, coming up with my list of chapters, and then expanding from that, and really creating a step-by-step guide for women with a lot of tools and resources that they can start to actually develop their own integrative plan from that book. So it really became a big teaching platform with the emphasis, of course, on self-care, which is very difficult for us because we have a lot of obligations in our life.
Absolutely. Everyone is so busy. I mean, we're always go, go, go. It's kind of a nonstop life for most people. And I think that I know for me personally, I always put my health to the back burner.
Well, I'm the mom of 4 children, so I understand where you're coming from. But I think as we get to this age, what's really important is to teach women that it's okay. It's okay to look at their own self-care. Because really the 4 pillars of women's health are stress management, nutrition, exercise, and hormone balance.
Okay.
So picture a woman that maybe is a retired trainer, but she's not balancing her hormones, so there's still something off balance for her, and she will still struggle.
Okay. So you take both a holistic and medical approach to dealing with it?
Well, my original background is I'm a pharmacist. I am still a licensed pharmacist, but I am what I call an integrated practitioner.
Okay.
So what I do is I do proper hormone testing, and from that I'll put together a very precise integrated program, which is natural supplements.
Okay.
I have been in the world of making bioidentical hormones, but I came to a point where I found that most women really crave the natural supplements, no side effects.
Yeah, and I think I'm one of those women, I'll be honest with you. I don't like taking like an aspirin. I don't like taking anything.
I don't even have it in my house.
If I don't even have, like, if I don't absolutely have
No.
to, I
No,
you know, I would
and I'm the same person.
choose to not do that if possible. So let's talk a little bit about the book and what people can expect when they pick it up, which I believe is coming on Amazon.
It is.
Momentarily.
It will be on Amazon. Again, the expectation is a learning platform.
Okay.
So yes, there is obviously some science in there, and I think that's important without it getting too technical. But really what I did is I created a story. So there's a thread and a story of a real woman in every chapter that leads us into the next one to understand the pathway that we're taking.
Okay.
Right, understanding adrenal fatigue and what are my choices. You know, after I get this proper test done, the saliva hormone test, what are my choices, what's best for me. You know, we have to talk about thyroid, of course, the challenges of weight and why that's different for everyone. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
and I understand, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the popular questions that people ask you on a regular basis. But we've just mentioned we've just mentioned doing like a saliva test. Is that what this is?
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about
that's a
this.
saliva hormone kit.
Okay.
So in my book, I say it is the secret. And once I discovered that secret myself, I wanted to share it with as many women as I could, with the understanding that we're all unique, our chemistry is unique. So if you don't get your hormones properly tested, how do you have a map to follow on this journey? This is your blueprint of you specifically.
Okay.
So you could have 5 friends in a room with hot flashes and weight gain, and everyone's test could come back different, and that's why that is the starting point.
Okay, so is this something that we do on a regular basis even if we're not in menopause, or is this something that we do strictly when we're coming into menopause?
Well, I do have women coming to me in what we would call perimenopause, which is they're premenopausal, but they're already recognizing that their body's starting to change.
Okay.
Most women come to me in menopause. It's not a test that they're going to do often, but it's a starting point. You know, like I said, where we, you know, we're not going to the wild west of the internet here with supplements.
Right.
We want to know exactly what to take and what dosage. So that actually gives us a template of 5 hormone levels.
Okay, so if you're, like, I'm just looking from, and I know everybody is different, so I'm looking at my own experience. So my mother didn't seem to have didn't suffer from a lot of symptoms. My sister started menopause later in her 50s. Would this tell, like, would this tell you if you're perimenopausal, like if you're on the, like, is that something that we should find out as women?
I don't feel that's really significant.
Okay.
You know, if you go to your doctor and he does a blood test for you and tells you you're in menopause and you haven't had a cycle for a year, well, you already know that. Right? So what this is doing is testing 5 specific hormones that we know are influencing your body, your symptoms, your weight. And then when we get that test back, we can determine, okay, which hormones are the most important priority right now, and how do we multi-target that very specific to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful to have a plan.
Well, like I said, you don't go on a trip without a map, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that and you said it several times, I think when you said that everybody is different, like people don't know what to expect. People don't know, you know, how it's going to affect you over me, or, you know, and how to deal with it a lot of times.
I think a lot of women just kind of hope for the best. You know, they don't know. You know, when you read the book, you know, one of the chapters is it's not your fault. If only you knew, then you would have done something prior coming into menopause, but nobody gives you those answers. So it's, you know, that's the purpose of the book, is to teach women those aspects of menopause and understanding.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the really popular questions that you get asked by women.
Well, the big one is of course around weight. They don't understand why whatever used to work doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
They don't understand why their body shape is changing, why at times they're gaining weight dramatically. You know, they could gain 10 pounds a month, 30 pounds in 6 months. Everybody's different.
Okay.
I think they don't understand why their doctor doesn't give them answers, but I always say with positivity, you're not in disease state. This isn't a disease, it's a phase that we're going through.
Right.
And really your doctor doesn't have the answers you want anyways. You know, I mean, of course there's times when we need the doctor, and that's fine. but don't expect all the answers from your doctor either.
I will tell you, you've just frightened the heck out of me by saying that you could gain like so much weight so quickly.
Everybody's different.
Right.
You know, there's very few women, I think, that come to me that are comfortable with how they're looking at that time. Like I always say, they're uncomfortable in their own skin. Their self-esteem may have taken a hit. They just feel, you know, out of control. They don't like looking in the mirror. They don't like
meh about the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
a little bit disappointed. Let's say disappointed,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Because some of the things they're doing is right, but then they're still not getting the result.
Right.
And that's the disappointment.
Right. Well, I'm just taking me as another example, because why not? I'm sitting here. But, you know, I've recently lost some weight and I'm planning on losing some more. Is there something to be said to going into menopause, exercising more, eating healthier, and being closer to what you're more comfortable with or what's better for your body weight-wise?
Well, I think weight-wise, again, it's those 4 pillars. They always affect us. So yes, you could be eating properly. You could have control of your stress management, and maybe you're exercising. Again, maybe your hormones, you're not addressing the hormone piece, or
Right.
you're addressing 3 of those, but you're living in an environment of extreme stress. So then your cortisol's hitting the roof and affecting your blood sugar. So you see how the intricate pieces really go together, you know? And again, going back to the fact that many women will say, but I exercise 5 times a week.
Right.
But your body's not listening to that.
Right, because your hormones are changing
Your hormones
and everything's
are changing.
imbalanced.
Your metabolism is changing. That's a big deal too that we need to address.
Okay. Right, because I mean, I have heard that it is, like for women who are trying to lose weight during menopause, it can be quite the struggle because of those imbalances.
All those factors come in, and then we get frustrated. Maybe we give up for a few days and we go back on again. And, you know, I think the science too is to explain to women, like, it's not a judgment to say this is how you should be eating. Maybe it's understanding that if you eat a lot of sugar on Monday, it's going to affect your body for a few days.
Right.
And at our age, we're starting to run the risk of diabetes, you know, so it's not just how we're looking, it's also what's our optimum health.
Right, and how we're feeling as well.
How we feel.
Yeah, because I mean, I've known people that look terrific and they don't feel well. It's, you know, it's that thing. And this is why I'm glad that I bring lots of different people on the show to help create awareness for things, because I think that by giving a book to educate women on what they can do and how they can benefit is advantageous, and it's something that everybody needs to know.
Well, otherwise I think we're just going from one platform to another and getting frustrated and not getting answers, and then another year goes by, maybe another 10 or 15 pounds, and nothing's changing, basically, right? And we want that change to happen.
And as you said, like, we can not know sometimes that these hormonal changes are actually happening, right?
No.
Until it becomes something a little bit more severe.
No.
Right.
Well, you know, if you have a nice group of friends that you share experiences with, but again, whatever they're using may not be appropriate for you.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
absolutely. So. Well, Kelly, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate it.
You've been a wealth of knowledge.
Well, thank you.
And don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. George.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello everyone, your host Antoine Hashim here on the couch, and welcome to season 8. Yay! 8 seasons, and we've got a lot of awesome guests coming up, so keep watching.
Welcome back to this edition of Dufferin Life. If you're joining us, you're joining just in time. So we're getting really, really close to one of my favorite parts of the year, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but we're getting ready for the Orangeville Christmas Market. Joining me today, we have James Heath. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's definitely my pleasure. I can't believe we're here already. This year has just flown by. But we're talking about the Orangeville Christmas Market. And tell us a little bit about where it's happening and when it's happening.
So the Orangeville Christmas Market this year is in about a week and a half, and it's going to be November the 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the OAS Event Center, and that's at 247-090 5 Side Road. It's the Orangeville Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
so if you're local,
say, if you don't know what that is, it is the Orangeville Agricultural Fairgrounds, and this is a big event every year. It's packed every year, and let's talk a little bit about that. So, how long has the market been around?
So it's been around for about 5 years. It actually started in the living room of one of my partners, Melissa Lackey, with I think around a dozen vendors, and it's a lot more than a dozen vendors now. We missed 1 year due to COVID. We got our feet wet again with the market for 2021. We weren't sure whether people were going to be ready or not, so we had a bit of an outdoor component and an indoor component, and people came back big time.
I was there. It was really, really busy. Yeah.
They were lined up from the agricultural center down to the Compass Church on the road. It was hard to get in, so we're making some changes this year regarding how we collect the donation for the food bank.
Okay.
Instead of collecting it from the car, we're going to be collecting it after they park, just to try to get people on the property as quickly as we can.
Okay.
And so we've been around for 5 years, and it's bigger every year.
It certainly is. And if you haven't been there, then you should be taking your phone out or grabbing a pen and paper to write this down for November 19th. But let's talk a little bit about the types of vendors that are normally at the market.
Okay, so we have lots of artisans, lots of crafters, lots of handmade stuff, seasonal themed products. We're going to be having a lot of community booths. For this year, we're starting something new. We're doing a kidpreneur program that we've launched for the first time. So we're going to have child entrepreneurs setting up tables. And we've actually partnered with More Than Just Baskets in Orangeville. And of the children that are coming, their booths are going to be judged. And whoever wins that contest is going to be featuring their products in store with More Than Just Baskets, and they'll be able to sell their products over the holiday season.
That is amazing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Some of these kids are talented.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they absolutely are. And it's always, I love when young kids that have that entrepreneurial spirit, they get focused on, because honestly, like, that's how amazing big businesses or small businesses turn into big businesses. So tell me why it's important to have this particular market in town.
I think it's nice just to be able to pull in all of the different community organizations. Like, we're going to have the libraries coming. We have like snowmobile clubs. We have dancing groups. We have all of these community type organizations and business entrepreneurial type people coming together in one spot to be able to show what they have, I guess.
Absolutely, and I think you hit the nail right on the head. You said community. Everyone who watches the show knows that I am a massive supporter of shopping local and supporting local, and having a venue for these people to show their wares, to show their services, just to show community groups, and I think that's so important. And like I said, before I even say anything, how many vendors are you expecting out this year?
So we're telling people it's going to be more than 225 vendors. It's probably going to end up being closer to 250. It's big. We have a ton of our vendors are local, of course, but the furthest person is actually coming from North Bay to set up. So the word's getting out, and people are coming in, and it's big. It's popular. It's always well attended. People bring their $2 for the food bank, and they go in there ready to spend money. So
That's amazing.
great.
And it's the perfect time to get your holiday shop on. Don't wait until December 24th, like some of us do sometimes on the rare occasion. But yeah, so no, it's an amazing market. I've been out there. There are so many different things and so many things you wouldn't think of, and so many holiday focused gifts, and you know, just having people in your house and being able to bring, you know, to entertain with some of the things that you have there. It doesn't always have to be a gift. It can be a gift for you. But there is something new this year.
Yes.
Other than, I mean, there's two new things because you're featuring all the young entrepreneurs.
Yes, yep.
But let's talk about the other new factor that's coming into play.
So historically, we have just been set up in the exhibition hall. This year, we're expanding to the agricultural hall. We're taking the link, and we're also taking the barn. So it's going to be just under 60,000 square feet of vendors in the barn. That's where we're going to be having our family-friendly, our child-friendly activities. We have face painting. We have a company called Messy Labs coming in where the kids will be able to make their own slime from scratch.
Awesome.
Monkey Movers activity bus is coming in. It's the inside of the bus is all set up for kids to play. We have cookie decorating with Mrs. Claus throughout the day. The Grinch is going to be there with Femca Photography, and you can book family photo sessions with the Grinch if you'd like. If I'm probably missing something, I usually do.
But something should be a surprise, don't you think? Like,
sure,
we've
absolutely,
given you
right?
so many things
Yep.
to think about, and there's so many reasons why you should be going, but there's going to be those few extra things that James didn't mention that you're going to be like, James didn't tell me that, but it was awesome.
You have to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be there for sure. So approximately how many people come out? Do you have any idea?
We had over 5,000 last year, and we are expecting around 10,000 this year.
Wow.
I believe. Yeah.
That's impressive. Are there ever thoughts of expanding it over 2 days? Because I'm like, that's a lot of people.
We are going to do 2 days for 2023.
Okay.
Yeah,
See?
because
I'm ahead of the game. It's that whole...
It's big. People are asking for it. It's a lot to set up. So once it's set up, why not give the people what they want?
Yeah, absolutely.
And have it over the 2 days.
That would be it. So that's coming 2023.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. So what I'm always very impressed from a marketing standpoint. I have a marketing company. I do event planning, that sort of thing. So these things intrigue me. How do you reach so many people to come out? I mean, I know there's a lot of word of mouth, and it's been 5 years, so that automatically will build. But your numbers are impressive.
Yeah, we were always surprised at the number of people that line up to get in. I think people want this kind of thing. They're looking for a venue that's this size. They're looking for a venue that brings in this kind of these numbers of people. Like, there are no 60,000 square foot facilities around here, really.
No.
But we use Facebook, we use Instagram, we use YouTube. Melissa's fabulous with social media. She knows how to post, she knows when to post, and she knows what to post. But yeah, we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and we have a YouTube channel as well that we use to reach people.
Yeah, and I think there's a certain unique need and want from the community for gifts or things for your home that are unique, that you just can't buy at a retail store. And I'm not dissing any retail store, because those retail stores support a lot of people employment-wise and are owned by local people. So it's important that you shop and support them as well. But I think there's this outlying need of, like, what can I get that's different?
Yeah, and I walk around the Christmas market every year not needing anything, but you always find something, right? Like, it's impressive, the things that people make. Yeah,
absolutely. I'll tell you, I walked out of there buying things that I didn't think I was going there to buy. Some of them for me, some of them as gifts, some of them as, Christmas decoration. But I think it's absolutely impressive. So tell me a little bit about what you do for the market.
So I wasn't always a part of the Christmas market. The Christmas market started with Melissa Lackey and my wife, Julie McNeely Heath. But I could see that there was a need just to help kind of keep track of numbers, keep track of which vendors are interested, which vendors have paid, and that sort of thing. So I'm the CFO, and definitely just like a general administrator, and I'm also the content creator. So this is probably the first time people are seeing me without a cowboy hat, because I generally cruise around with a cowboy hat. I have my own YouTube channel as well. Okay. So yeah, I just do whatever's needed. Boots on the ground on the day of, running around, setting things up.
And I don't think people realize how much I run a local wedding show. So how much work goes into the setup and the organization behind a show, and for it to be one day, you leave exhausted.
We were there yesterday, and we were there today at the agricultural center setting up. Yep, already.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing for sure. So let's talk a little bit more about. And we don't want to brush over this because this is really important. The food bank, raising money and gathering donations for the food bank. Do you have idea? I mean, you're the numbers guy, so I'm going to come out and ask you. Do you have ideas of what you've donated to the food bank so far to date, or even last year, or
So I believe the first few years we actually collected food, canned goods and that sort of thing, but that is a big job. You know, canned goods are heavy when they start coming in those kinds of numbers. So we started collecting cash because it's easier. The food bank can then buy exactly what they need. If they need dairy, they can buy dairy, etc. So last year, and people can go look because we have all the photos up, but last year we donated $6,600, I think, in cash. Probably altogether over the years, $7,500 approximately. I'm hoping $10,000 this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lofty goal. But I mean, raising $6,500 in one day in a matter of hours is impressive. And if you watched the show before, you know I'm a massive supporter of the food bank, all food banks, but necessarily like the ones within our community, because it breaks my heart to think of people that are hungry.
At Christmas time especially.
Yeah, and things like that, and when you're raising the money at Christmas time, that money carries on towards past Christmas, because oftentimes we think of the food bank, you know, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at certain holidays, but they need to carry their supplies year round.
All year.
Yeah, and then you're absolutely right as well in saying that there's certain things that they have a big need for that they may not always get donated.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So that is wonderful. That is great. So let's talk a little bit about, so we've got different types of vendors, crafters happening on November 19th. I'm just reminding this all to you now because you need to make sure that you're participating in and supporting the young entrepreneurs. I think that's amazing. And then all of those fun things for families. And there's food trucks and everything there as well?
Yes, we will have a food truck corral, and that'll be just outside of the barn. So I think the barn's going to be fairly popular this year with all of the family activities, and then they can step outside, grab some food. We're going to have some Muskoka chairs set up inside for people to sit and relax, and should be good.
That's amazing. So if you're going out shopping and you do have wee ones that you have to bring with you, bring a friend. That friend can take your wee ones over to grab some food, have some fun while you get all your shopping done. You go put that in your car. They don't know the difference. You go back.
That's right.
You go have some fun and then let your friend do the same thing.
Yep, decorate cookies with Mrs. Claus while you're shopping.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's an amazing addition, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you go to these types of things, sometimes you're not able to, and then it's a family affair, you know? Bring your hubby, bring your loved one, bring your partner, and make it a day of it.
Yep.
Awesome. James, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It was definitely my pleasure. I love spreading the news about good things and getting your holiday shop on. Thank you for joining us today. And until next time, bye-bye for now. So we're just going to sit here.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
That he fell.
Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, dear?
Since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What